Young teacher, the subject of schoolgirl fantasy. She wants him so badly, knows what she wants to be. Inside her, there's longing. This girl's an open page, bookmarking. She's so close now. This girl is half his age. Don't stand, don't stand so, don't stand so close to me. Don't stand, don't stand so, don't stand so close to me. Her friends are so jealous. You know how bad girls get. Sometimes it's not so easy to be the teacher's pet. Temptation, frustration, so bad it makes him cry. Wet bus stop, she's waiting. His car is warm and dry. Don't stand so, don't stand so close to me. Don't stand so, don't stand so close to me. Loose talking.
Oh, how the devil are you? Good afternoon, good evening. Sorry I'm late. Just thought I'd, pop up. I want to talk to parents, really. So, yes, I thought it was an appropriate song for schools. Young teacher in the classroom gets a bit weird about women, girls, young girls. I do like. I like the song. Not everything I do is completely consistent, so I don't know. Start off. Um, what is that? Anyway, let's have a chat about this. Um, Gosh, you couldn't have stood too near the young woman with the face mask in the court. She was very stinky, very, very stinky. Real like. I mean, she was in appropriate company. She was in appropriate company. So, okay, let's get on with this. Why I want to talk to you about your children's schools, or if you've got grandchildren, nieces, nephews, friends, whatever. I want to talk to you about single sex toilets. And like some people in our side of the argument go, oh, it's not just about toilets. Well, toilets are really important. And I'll tell you what, oh my God, that is such a how great is that? I'm just impressive. I don't know what to say. Um, People go, "Oh, it's toilets, the most frequent or the most likely place as a woman I am going to encounter a man when I'm in a state of undress is in a public toilet or a public changing room, right? That's when it's going to happen. For a girl in a school, the time she is most likely to feel vulnerable is going to the toilet. Now, there's a whole host of reasons. I don't know about you. I'm so sorry. I've changed the Lucy title, so keep up. Um, so the for a girl, look, I'm going to speak about girls because I was a girl. Um, and it might be different for boys. I don't know that it is. So I'm just going to talk about girls, and if it doesn't fit, whatever it is that your experience, then I'm not talking to you. But I am talking about the experience of being female in a public space. So most females, when they go in a toilet, if it's loads of women, we're all thankful. Pretty sure it's like this for men. If there's a dryer on, if there's taps running, if there's loads of noise, because everyone just is terribly embarrassed um, about going to the loo, right? None of us like it. We'd all like it to be completely private. We'd all rather do it at home. So that's one thing. So take that and times it by a million. And then you've got the embarrassment factor of being a girl. And also, being around teenagers who are more than likely going to take the piss out of you if you make a noise, or if there's like if there's a group of girls, they're going to listen. It's a real source of vulnerability at school. It's not the only source of vulnerability at school, but it is a big source of vulnerability at school. So, what I'm going to say to you now is, if you haven't asked your school about the policy where your child on a daily basis has to think about how, when is it most appropriate? Should they do it at the beginning of break, end of break? Have they got friends to go with? Have they got no friends to go with? Do they want their friends to come, etc.? That particular thing that a child has to contend with on a daily basis, if you haven't asked, the school what their policy is for your child in that most vulnerable moment, I'm just going to ask you, why the fuck not? Why haven't you done that? Why haven't you bothered to find out? Because maybe you just assumed that schools were like they were when you were at school. And you would be wrong. And you would be wrong because there are perverts and placaters throughout the school system. It's a reason that they don't say hello, boys and girls anymore. They stopped doing that in about 2015. They might call your child a young person rather than a child. They might not say son or daughter when they talk to you about your child. They might say your young person, the educator, the pupil. They might totally, and you might not have even noticed that they're doing this, but they will have divorced you from your role as mother, father in your child's life. So many schools do this. If your school hasn't done it, count yourself lucky, because for many schools it's happened. They won't say little boy, good girl. They won't be saying that anymore. And we all thought that was some, like, women who call themselves feminists. They sort of think that it's some sort of victory. Oh, we stop that now. No, it's not a victory. It's absolutely because of transgenderism. It's nothing to do with your little girl being equal, your little boy being seen the same. It's nothing. It's absolutely nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with that. It is everything to do with eradicating the boundaries that we all feel safe and comfortable with. That's what it's all about. The teachers are too stupid. I'm not saying all teachers are stupid, but I think we can recognise that there's quite a lot of teachers who are thick. They don't know that they're being used as activists, and like this gentle grooming of children into not recognizing their own boundaries. They have no idea that they're participating in this particular charade. They think they're all progressive and doing this wonderful thing. But like I said, they're all quite thick. And they will keep secrets from you, because many teachers think that they know better about your child than you do. So, so that would be like some of the erasure, some of the indoctrination that's going on in schools. But there's one area, which is the toilets, that I want you to really focus on. We can talk about the other kind of broader stuff about gender ideology and whether it's being taught and what the law is and so on. And that might be a much longer video. And I will save that for another time. I want to make this as short as possible. So I probably should crack on. Right. What we know in schools, is that there is, I think it's, I'm just going to refer back to my notes. There is sexual assault wise in schools. One child is raped in a school every day in the United Kingdom on average. In primary schools, there are 3 sexual assaults reported to the police every single day. And what we know is that mixed sex toilets help fuel bullying and sexual assaults in schools, according to a Times report in April of this year. So we know that. And there was a court ruling on the single-sex lavatories, and it was all to do with the Scottish government. Anyway, we know that mixed sex places are not very safe in comparison to single-sex spaces, especially for girls. Right? So again, I'm talking from from the perspective of girls. Right. So, would you think, considering the rise in sexual assaults in schools, certainly reported sexual assaults in schools, would you think that we would be paying more careful attention with our policies or less? Well, the answer is less. The answer is less. We pay less attention to safeguarding risks while sexual assault rises. You might argue that that's why it's rising. Um, it certainly feels like that, but we're certainly not in a better position. We're certainly not in a position where we should be thinking, oh, we can just relax the rules now. So let me tell you what the rules are. And this is, you can find this on the Health and Safety Executive. I've got notes on this on Let Women Speak. We've got like an action line. Just scroll across there. You can find all the information about school toilets, including a letter that you can amend, adjust, and use and send to your child's school. And I will give you like a little step-by-step guide what you need to do if this isn't happening. So from the age of 8, your son or daughter is entitled to a single sex space when they use the lavatory. Now, I'll tell you what that means. So that means either they go in a room, they close the door behind them, and there are sinks, and there's only girls allowed or only boys allowed. And they have sinks and a place to dry their hands, and then they have a toilet cubicle that can be locked from the inside. Okay? So that's single sex. So all the little boys can go into a communal area where they can wash and dry their hands, and then into private areas where they do their business, stalls. And obviously with boys, you might also have a urinal. And in girls' toilets, they can close the door where they have sinks. Can't be open plan, where they have sinks and a place to dry their hands. And then they have a lockable stool where they can go to the toilet. Now, if your school doesn't have that, and the other version it can have is a single usage space. So that means you have a fully enclosed room that can be locked from the inside, that has toileting, washing, and drying hand facilities, right? So that means that when you wash and dry your hands, it has to be a single sex space. And if it's not a single sex space, then it has to be fully lockable and enclosed. Now, if your school isn't doing that, it is failing to uphold the recommendations, the law, as outlined by the Health and Safety Executive. Okay? So I'm just going to say that again. If the single occupancy toilet has a place to wash and dry your hands, that's fine. If your unisex toilets share sinks, not fine. They're breaking the law. They will need to remedy that as soon as humanly possible. Most schools will have 2 unisex toilets, so they can just simply make one just for girls and one for boys. A child pretending to be the opposite sex is not allowed to use the toilets of the opposite sex under any circumstances. The only toilet a child can use if they're so special that they don't want to use, if it's a boy not wanting to use a boy's toilets, he is allowed to use a fully lockable toilet. But also that child has the right to be safeguarded, and their parents probably should be reported to some sort of authority for being gaslighting abusers. But that child also has the right to use a fully lockable space in which they wash and dry their hands. So I just want to tell you, this is what you do. You go and, first of all, you can ask the school. You can be polite and you can ask the school. You can say, hey, can you just outline the how many toilets you have in your school, and whether they are unisex, and whether that is a fully lockable enclosed space, and how many female-only toilets you have, and how many male-only toilets you have, and who is allowed in those toilets, and how do you ensure the right children go in the right toilets, right? You can do that. So you can raise concerns, and you can ask Where do boys go? Where do girls go? Are boys allowed in the girls' toilets, etc.? If that doesn't do any good, you can write a formal complaint to the head teacher, then to the governors, then to the local authority, and then to Ofsted, and eventually you can complain to the HSE, which is an NGO or a government-funded body regulator, and you can also complain to the EHRC. But I think the first thing you have to do is go and have a look. When you go and have a look around the schools, go and have a look, and also when you go and talk to the school, go and ask. You have to make it difficult for schools to do this. You have to follow it through. And I'm just going to remind you again, right? Your child relies on you to make sure that they are looked after. School is supposed to be loco parentis. They're supposed to be the parents when you're not there. If you aren't prepared to go and make yourself look awkward in front of the school, then you're not doing your job as a parent. You're not. So, again, men. Like someone asked me a couple of years ago, what should men do? And I'll tell you what men should do in this fight. Men should be doing the hard conversations with the schools, because you don't often do pickup. I'm gonna paint with a broad brush here. Men don't often do pickup. Women do. Women do the pickup. Women do the drop off. We have a closer relationship with the school, and as such, it is often more difficult for us to have awkward conversations, because it's not very nice not to be liked or to be thought of as awkward. Now, men, you don't care that much about not being liked. And the reason I can make such a broad generalization about men is I've never seen a woman walking down the road with, well, she might have her shorts up too high, but she's never got her ass out. You don't often see a woman with her ass kind of most out while she's walking along. So I'm just guessing, lads, that you don't mind not being liked or people to look at you badly. So that's what you have to do. You have to go and have the conversation with the school. And weirdly, especially if you've got daughters, because you can talk about your daughter in a way that is read totally differently to when a woman talks about her daughter. Like a man is supposed to talk about his daughter like that. So I think you should do it. Live up to the stereotype. Don't give a shit what anybody else says. Live up to the stereotype. That's my recommendation. And if you haven't done it already, I don't know why. I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's totally insane. So anyway, that's your very short thing, because I've got to go back and do orders so that anybody who is looking for one of these for this weekend is sorted out. Look, you might find t-shirts elsewhere, but you won't find them as high quality and as wonderful as the ones that we have here at Let Women Speak. You won't. You just won't, because these are the best. Look, made in Turf Island. That's optional. You can have that in red, white, or pink. So do pop over to my website and help me help you. And at the bottom there, you see on the 10th of October, we are going to be in outside the Royal Courts of Justice. We're also going to be in Oxford. We're going to be in London. We're going to be in Bexhill. I'm sure there's somewhere I've missed, but yeah, we're going to be everywhere. 5th of November, Millicent Fawcett sculpture. It's going to be great. So whatever you're doing, you have to come out and put your body behind this. Because look, there are lots of people that speak about this issue. And then there's Let Women Speak. And Let Women Speak holds the line. We hold the line very, very firm. We have no patroons. We don't make allowances for any man to wear us as a costume. We don't. Just like I wouldn't if it was blackface. I just don't. It's not okay. It's just not okay. And I think it makes us quite unique. And if you like what we do, and I know it's tricky because people don't like giving to women for whatever reason. I mean, if people liked giving money to women, violence against women would be over. Like, those organizations would be so well funded that people don't, generally speaking. They might give to posh women, but it's very odd. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but women, we're terrible. Really terrible to do those sorts of things. But anyway, I don't want you to just throw me money. I mean, it would be nice. I want to give you something incredible to wear in exchange. Might be a badge, might be a fabulous t-shirt, might be a scarf, whatever it is that helps you create conversations in your own life. That's what we want. But seriously, sort out your child's schooling. Sort out where they go to the toilet, because it is illegal, and schools don't have a lot of fucking money to be throwing at court cases to defend the fact that they're allowing little boys into the toilets with your little girl. And you owe it. You owe it to your child to do that. You owe it to your child to be awkward. You owe it to your child to make sure that the thing that they have to navigate on a daily basis, the toughest thing they have to navigate, like, even if your child is a victim of, like, being ostracized or being bullied, going to the toilet, pulling their trousers down and their pants down and sitting in a room outside of your house, going to the toilet is really tricky, vulnerable, embarrassing. And if you haven't made sure that that is the least embarrassing, tricky, risky thing that they do, if you haven't reduced that risk 100% as much as you possibly can, then you're a bit of a shitty parent. Don't know what to say to you, but just get it sorted, and get it sorted now. If you can ensure that where you should be having conversations you do, then I promise we will win. If you can go and start conversations by wearing something magnificent that you find on my website, then I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Well, because I never lose.
Come on, motherfuckers, come on.